What's going on, everybody? Yeah, we're out here. I said I wasn't going to do a video today in this nasty cold stuff, but we're doing it, and I'll explain why we're doing it here in a minute. But real field negative 23. Uh, Wind chill, there's only a 5-mile-an-hour breeze, but with that wind chill, that's negative 38. We got our heat, we got our warm shack, pretty well set that way. But the reason we're out here is because, it's a reality that a lot of us can't fish whenever we want to. And sometimes, we might have a vacation planned or a set day off that we get to fish, and the weather doesn't always cooperate, right? On cue. So for those guys that are out today and who are going to be out this weekend because they're on vacation, they're ice fishing, or they have a day planned and they took the day off of work, we're going to show you what it's like. No filler, no fluff. This is going to be a full day of just fishing in these nasty Arctic high front conditions. Super cold. We're going to, the reality is we're not going to be hole hopping a lot. We're not tournament fishing. There's no money on the line. This is just for the weekend warrior or the guy that, has today off and wants to go fishing. This is what a real day looks like in these conditions. And we are about 50 yards off of shore on the first major break. There is some structure where we're fishing, so there should be fish in the area. Are they going to bite? Are they going to be in an angry mood? I don't know. We're going to find out, though. But the reality is if you do have to fish in these conditions, or this is your only time to fish, try to set the odds in your favor. Locate one of those first major contour break lines where it's a transition zone. Maybe you have gravel meeting mud or rock meeting silt, or you have structure, man-made cribs, natural structure. Try to put the odds in your favor. Set up on those areas. You're going to increase, your hookup percentage chances in these areas. Times can play into it too. You definitely want to stick out your early morning windows and your sunset windows as well. But the reality is if you're out here all day long, you're going to have some slow times, and we're going to document everything. We might not set a hook today. We might show you 0 hook sets in this episode. We might show you a few hook sets on small fish, a few hook sets on medium fish. Maybe we'll get lucky and stick a pie plate. But we're being real here today. That's what this episode's about. Enjoy, because I'm out here in this freezing cold, and we're going to get it done one way or another. Stay tuned. First fish of the morning. And it is a Dink City tater chip. That's all right. Boy, did that one take some coaxing. I mean, the good news is that there are plenty of fish around. The not so good news is they are taking a very, very finesse approach. I'm not even moving it. I'm letting the spring bobber do all the work. And that's still a chore to get him to eat. I've had to go as small as I can possibly go as far as my hands and eyes will let me go, with a 2 mil and 1 crushed waxy. And I know a lot of you have asked me, what do you mean by crushed waxy? And that's simply threading the waxworm on, like so, and crushing the butt end out of it, squeezing it so those juices either come out the head or the back, preferably both, but definitely the back, so you get entrails hanging when you're moving it. And like I said, I'm barely moving it today because if I over jig even a little bit, those fish are gone and quick. So it's just a very nervous coffee shake, if that. Like I said, the good news is there's fish down there. There's some nice marks down there. They're just not moving a whole lot. They don't want to come off that bottom. So it's going to take patience. It's going to take perseverance. And if I get 1 good fish today, I'm happy with that in these conditions. So let's keep swinging. Second fish. That one came in a little bit more aggressive. It wasn't a pack of fish. But I'm afraid it's another 7-inch bluegill. Yeah, that one came in a pack. So it was a race to get to the bait. Anytime that happens, when you can get multiple fish on the screen, your odds of setting a hook on one of them are pretty darn good. trying to create a competition. We're not going to let these 7-inchers deter us from calling it, because I'm seeing some of the right size marks down there. And yeah, I'm gonna get one of them son of a guns to eat before this day is over. That'll just about wrap her up for the day. Almost out of propane, and it is cold. It's not a terrible fish to end on if that is our last one. I've still got fish in the hole, so you know how that goes. I'll probably be out here for a little bit longer until this propane runs out. But nice little 8 1/4, 8.5 inch bluegill, sunfish, whatever you want to call them, on this frigid Arctic weekend. Just a gorgeous all-around fish right there. Also, don't forget, February 3rd, we're going to draw for the March guided trip with me, and we're going to do a YouTube show when we're out there as well. So I hope you're not camera shy. All you have to do to enter again is subscribe, drop a comment on any of the videos, drop a like on any of the videos. You know, you don't have to do them all. Just, I'd really appreciate if you would subscribe though, so we can keep this thing going and maybe invest in some better camera equipment. So yeah, still got fish in the hole. We're going to give her a couple more minutes. Yeah, they're starting to fire up now. Here, the last half hour of daylight. Nice fish. Getting better in quality as too. It's pretty typical up here in the North Woods. Early morning and towards dusk, these bigger ones come out to play. Look at that one. It's a scud missile again. Beautiful colors on that. I'll try to explain. We actually made another small move about, I don't know, about 45 minutes ago or so. We moved to a different part of the structure that we're fishing. It's imperative that you've got to find that sweet spot. Just because you're fishing, you know, over the top of structure or adjacent to it doesn't mean you're going to be in the money zone where these fish get comfortable and wanting to go and eat. So what we did was, it's a big old dead apple tree that we put in here a long time ago, probably 8 years ago. And it's hardwood, so it holds real nice, and it's got branches coming out everywhere. But we're in the middle of 2 V branches. We got one coming out to the side like this, one coming out like this, and we're dead center in the middle of it. And they want to come up right where the meat of the, I guess, the trunk meets the limbs is where they're kind of holding. So we get down in there and we start to mark fish. You'll see them come up a little bit. And then you start to get up closer to the top of those V branches. They don't want to go past that. So the money zone is in the top of the limb into where the trunk meets the limb. So you've got a small window where we can get these fish to play. Go below it, they don't do it. You go above it, they won't come up. So you just have to, dial in little nuances and fix your cadence, your jigging cadence to what they want. It's not always going to be the same. Hour to hour, that'll change sometimes. Sometimes it's all day. But little things like that you figure out, you take with you on the next trip, and it just makes you a more successful fisherman. Little things like that. This one's rip and drag. I think I finally got a decent fish. Through them branches down there. Oh yeah, that'll work. There we go. That's a chunker. That's a 9 1/4. Beautiful. Finally, right? That's what happens when you stick it out. We've got a pot of big marks that came through, 3 or 4 of them together, and created a little bit of competition is what happened. So they came racing up through them branches, and this guy was the winner. Heck of a fish right there. Look at the ear tab on him. Those defined stripes. One of the prettiest fish that swims, I tell you. And I actually went back to a little bit heavier jig to try to get through these branches a little quicker. So I went back to the vertical scud missile. We'll take that all day. That's a good fish. Yep, went back to the vertical scud missile with a crushed waxy. What that crushed waxy's doing down there is just kind of doing that undulating action, if you will. Seems to be drawing these bigger fish in. Now this is either a 10, 11-inch gill or, yeah, that figures. Freaking gross, man. Freaking gross. Always get you excited. Yeah, I thought for sure that was a good gill. He was even kind of digging circles instead of that normal thump you get with a bass. But always get a few of these when you're around structure, so it is what it is. Yeah, whatevs.